welcome on the new Coach Steve Academy Lab Guide. I'm Corentin Guinez, driver for Mercy, and today we are here for the week 5 of the Falcon Sports Car Series. We are using, as usual, the Porsche, and we are around Road Atlanta. First, we're gonna go for the yacht lap, and then we're gonna go together about the details about the combo. So yep, let's get started. Alright guys, so here we go for the lap around Road Atlanta with the Porsche 709 GT4. We crossed the start finish line, and then T1 comes pretty quickly after that, to be honest, not that much of a rest. So first thing to do, you put the car to the left, and then you just look at the end of the grass. That's the main thing I'm looking at, to be honest. So facing this thing, putting the car to the left, and then when I'm getting close of the end of the grass and basically the beginning of the pit exit from the other layout, then I just go on the brake. So as you can see, I go on the brake. I will jump to fourth, trying to keep some, not braking too much. I just try to not brake too much because I need to carry a lot of momentum. As you can see, there is quite a distance between the beginning of the braking and then the moment you reach the apex. So you don't need to brake too much, because first, if you brake too much, you will basically lose the momentum, and then you will lose the rotation. So the main thing there is to find the rotation. Otherwise, you will just go on into the gravel or the grass on the exit. That's not what you want. So as you can see on the brake, around 60, drop to 40. But yeah, I don't put that much braking actually. As you can see, dropping down to fourth. And then I just try to really play with the brake until I'm really getting the apex. So I'm just, for the apex, riding the bit of curb on the inside, but I'm not trying to get too much, because sometimes when you get too much curbing on the inside, there is a dip or something into this one, and then you just fly on it, or at least it bounce, and that's not what you want, especially with the Porsche, which is quite sensitive to the curbs. So yeah, once again, on the brake, 40%, then I just release the brake. The more I'm getting into the corner, the more I'm raising the brake. And then when I'm really getting into the apex, into the corner, just going back on power, trying to find the rotation on throttle, and at the same time need to carry the momentum, because as you can see, it's getting quite steep on the exit. Main target as well on the exit of T1 is to not go too wide on the exit. So of course, when I mean wide, is not going on the grass, of course, but it's to make sure you can keep a bit of a margin from the curbing. First, because the curb sometimes feels a bit deadly, and at the same time, because if you go too wide, then the next corner is a left-hander, which is, you arrive on it with quite a lot of speed, and then this means you will struggle quite a lot to keep it to the very inside of this left one. So you have to make sure you keep a bit of a margin on the exit of T1, so then it makes all the sector after that way easier. So as you can see then, just trying to make sure I keep a bit of a margin. So as you can see, just like that, it's fine. Like I keep like maybe 2 or 3 meters, maybe 2 or 3, I don't know. But anyway, I keep a bit of a margin, so then I can bring back the car to the almost to the middle of the track, and then it makes the way to the next corner way easier. Because then if I want to keep this line, I will need to um, basically lose a bit more speed before doing that. So yeah. So back to the T1, keeping a bit of a margin on the exit. Then I just bring the car. I just try to bring the car as much as I can from the middle of the track, but of course I'd rather not bring the car too much in the middle, because then I can compromise a bit the what I'm doing after that. So yeah, the thing is to make sure you can bring the car to the middle, but at the same time don't compromise the what comes after that, because then it's even worse. So yeah, you have to bring the car to the middle, but at the same time don't put too much effort into that, because then it can go to the opposite. So yeah, then just try to go back to the inside, just going on the brake just before reaching the top of the crest. So as you can see, I'm already lifting when I'm getting close of the top of the crest. So what I call the top of the crest is when I can basically see a little bit of the curb. I'm not even sure I can see it right now, but yeah, you can see, like, I guess the very top of the curbing when you're getting close of that. So yeah, when you're near the top of the crest, just release the throttle, and then you just play a bit with the braking and the throttle. The main target is to slow down the car. So as you can see, just putting a little bit of throttle just before I'm on top of the crest. Basically what I'm doing there is that I'm making some adjustment when I can properly see the corner. So if I see that I'm a bit lower in the speed, I will go a bit on throttle to make sure I can keep maximum speed just before entering the corner. But then of course, if I see that I'm going too fast, obviously I will just not go on the throttle, because it doesn't make sense, and I will just go a little bit more on the brake, or I will put some tap on the brake to just slow down a bit the car. So what I'm doing there when I'm on top of the crest, just like between the top of the crest and the middle of the curb, because that's pretty much what I'm looking at when I'm as a braking reference, is just that I'm making some adjustment considering the speed I have right now. So yeah. So then as you can see, bit of braking and bit of throttle to make some adjustment. And then as you can see, when I'm getting in the middle of the curb, I will just go on the brake. I will try to put the car straight, at least when I'm hitting the brake at the beginning. And then everything goes pretty quickly, as you can see. We'll try to put a bit slower. So as you can see on the brake, just trying to not put too much brake. It's the same as T1, because you wanna slow down the car quite a lot at the beginning, but then you have to quickly release the brake because you need to find the rotation. You have to release the brake because if you don't wanna go straight with the ABS, that's the way to go. Then as you can see, just before hitting the curb, I'm going on throttle. So I'm cutting quite a lot this right-hander. So as you can see, just before going on the curb, going on throttle. And as you can see, I'm getting quite a lot of curbing. I guess you can, as soon as you leave the left wheels on the yellow line, you should be fine. It should not be a slowdown or an off track. Then as you can see, using third gear into this one. And then the main target is pretty much same as T1. You don't want to exit too wide, because then you have this left one, which comes pretty quickly after. So the idea for the left one is to make sure you can have the smallest steering angle, because you are supposed to go flat out through this left one. So the more steering angle you have, if you are going full throttle, the more unstable the car can get. So the idea is to make sure you can not exit too wide from this sort of kink, because then you can maybe exit like to have a bit of a margin like T1 exit, and then you can have a smaller amount of steering angle, and then you can get the car more stable by being full throttle. So as you can see, getting a bit of a margin. I'm not completely using all of the curbing. When I mean keeping a bit of a margin, the idea is to make sure you cannot like be with the two left wheels on the very edge right now of the curbing and almost on the grass. Like this, it's fine, because I'm not really yet on the curb, which means it makes the momentum easier for me, and I can be smoother with the steering wheel. So as you can see, then at that point I can still stay flat out, because basically I made the thing easier on the exit. Then, which means I can basically stay later of the full throttle, but then at some point need to play a bit with the throttle to make sure I can really keep it tight. The idea is to make sure once again you are not going too wide right there on the exit of this left one, because then you have to prepare the S's, which is pretty tough with the GT4 because you don't have that much downforce at the front, so you really have to nail the line to lose the less time possible. So once again, exit of the kink, then just trying to make it smooth to avoid any kind of sideways moment. And then as you can see, I'm just trying to bring the car to the left, so then I can prepare the dive into the S's. So as you can see, what I'm doing for this one is that when I'm getting close of the curbing on the left, so pretty much when I'm having the car like as much as I tried to put it on the left, so as you can see, car is on the left. And then when I'm getting close of the beginning of the curbing, which is pretty much what I'm looking at when I bring the car to the left, I need to lift. So what I'm doing is that I'm lifting pretty pretty strong, I would say, because the idea is to bring the weight to the front of the car. Because then if I just try to stay with too much throttle, I could make it flat. But if I make it flat, I will just have some understeer, and I'm not sure I can avoid the off track right there. At least I will go too wide there, I'm pretty sure. So what I'm doing for this one is that I will just drop quite a lot of throttle all of a sudden, so then it brings the weight to the front. So then basically it gives me the rotation, and then I can go fully on power. As you can see from now, I'm almost going fully on power. Once again, need to make some adjustments sometimes because of course it's pretty tough to make this like consistent all the time. So yeah, sometimes you have to make some adjustments. It's like the turn 2 or turn 3. Like sometimes it cannot just be okay, do that and then do that. Sometimes you have to make your own adjustments depending of how much speed you have, and especially because this track is quite special. I would say you have many blind spots and stuff like that. So yeah, it's not the easiest track sometimes, to be honest, to make it consistent. So yeah, you have to make sure you are at least clean. That's the main target. So once again, I bring the car to the left, then I drop the throttle to bring the weight of the car at the front, so then it gives me the rotation and the grip at the front. And then as you can see, when the car is really getting into the corner, just trying to clip the curb, the first one, then I'm lifting a little bit to make sure I can stay into the limit, approaching this part of the S's. Then when I'm leaving the curb, full throttle once again, then I'm all okay for this one, so just putting the left wheels on the very edge of the curb. You can clip a little bit of grass on this one, it's fine. I mean, it's quite okay for the track limits for this one, so sometimes you can almost run a decent amount of grass, to be honest. But yeah, sometimes it's still better to avoid that because I saw some bugs and stuff, especially with the TCRs. I don't know if this can happen with the other cars, but still, I guess the less grass you use there, the better it is anyway. So yeah, then I bring the car to the right. I will use the curb. As you can see, I'm braking quite early, so when I make my way to the curb on the right, just before I'm actually, when I basically cross the middle of the track, as you can see, I'm just crossing the middle of the track to go on my way to the curb. I just go on the brake, so I'm braking quite early, but I'm not braking that much because that's the same. You don't want to brake too much because then you lose all of the rotation. So that's not what I want to make. So I prefer for this one to brake a bit earlier, but then it makes everything smoother because this one is pretty difficult. As you can see, you have some big curves and some like elevation changes, I would say, which makes everything very difficult sometimes. So the idea is to make it smoother with the brake, so then you can really adjust to the different surfaces, I would say. So as you can see, crossing the middle of the track, going on the brake, using the curb, dropping to third, and then when I'm landing from this curbing, so as you can see, I'm using almost to the full curb. I'm using the full curb on the brake, and then when I'm going off the curb, leaving the curb, then I just release the brake. The main target for this left-hander is to make sure you can keep a little bit of brake. If you see that you are about to miss the inside of this one, very important to get the inside of this one, because it means then that you can have a really good exit. The main target is to not exit too wide from the left one, because then you can lose quite a lot of time, especially if you clip the gravel. Then you can just lose the car and then just spin into the tire wall on the right side just after that. So yeah, you have to make sure you can carry a lot of speed into this one, but at the same time not carrying too much and then compromise the exit. That's the main target. That's why I prefer to brake a bit earlier for the left-hander. Then as you can see, just keeping a little bit of braking, but then when I'm just about to run the curb, just going back on power. And then as you can see, the exit is really good. I'm not too wide. I just made what I need. I'm on the perfect line actually, like maybe 2 or 3 centimeters wider, and it would have been a disaster, I guess, losing time and stuff. So that line was actually perfect. So once again, from the far chase camera, getting a little bit of curb, and then just using the throttle rotation to make my way on the exit of this corner. And then we approach the double right, which leads to the very long back straight. So what I'm looking for this one is the first line, basically the first white line, which is related to the 200 board on the left side. So as you can see on the brake, just braking quite a lot at the beginning, because as you can see the car is fully straight, so you can optimize the braking by braking quite a lot. You don't really find the rotation right now. You are more trying to find the rotation when you are crossing this line, actually the last one before I would say the wall with the tire. But yeah, basically that's the main one you're looking for to get the rotation. So as you can see on the brake, and then when I'm crossing this line, I will just start to release the brake slowly, drop to third, and then when I'm into the corner, just looking at the throttle. Good thing is that this corner is on camber, so it really helps you. But at the same time, if you carry too much speed into this one, it can get very understeery, because you will lose I guess, the on-camber effect. That's how it feels to me. So it's very important to say, maybe you brake a bit early by braking at the 200. You could maybe brake between this line and the next one, but then you compromise the corner. So yeah, you will gain time for sure on the entries. That's an obvious thing, I would say. But then, yeah, in my opinion, it's not worth to do that, because you lose too much speed into the corner. You have too much chance then to make mistakes. So yeah, just prefer to make the things smoothly and being better prepared than doing everything a bit in a rush, I would say, braking too late, and then you have to just, yeah, you struggle at the end. So yeah, better to brake a bit earlier, but then at least you don't compromise the corner and you get the best out of it. So yeah, then on the brake, releasing the brake, getting into the corner, middle of the corner, going on the throttle, and then you just aim for the curbing on the exit between the two double right. When you get on the curb, you will start to brake, you will drop to second. Very important to not brake too much for this one. You really need to keep it smooth, because if you brake too heavily, then first you will lose the rotation, and then the idea is to not upset the car. The car can get really easily upset on the curb. The fact that you go on the curb, keep the brake, even when you are leaving the curb, can make the car a bit unstable. So yeah, just better to keep it really smooth. And as you can see, when I'm leaving the curb, I'm just raising the brake, just trying to make sure I can get the rotation. And then as you can see, even before I'm getting on the curb on the inside, just going on power. For this one, you really have to wait that the steering is fully straight. As you can see, I'm still into the corner and the steering is straight. And at that point, I can go fully on power, because then it's really the throttle which gives me the rotation to bring the car straight for the back straight. So as you can see, once again on the brake, then just before I'm getting into the corner and on the curb, going on power, and then just need to be really patient before going full throttle. You really have to wait that the steering is fully straight, and then as you can see, just trying to get the curbing on the exit, not going too wide, and then we have this long run on the back straight, which is surely the best place to try overtakes. So then we bring the car to the right to shorten the distance, and then we're going to look for the braking for the chicane. So what I'm doing for this one is that I'm looking at the 100 board. I'm braking slightly before, I guess. So as you can see, the 100 is right there. The white line is, I think, a little bit after the D100 board. So what I'm doing is that I'm looking at the white line. I'm trying to look at both at the same time. I mean, it's still in your vision. Even if I'm mainly looking at the racing line, the D100 is still in my vision. I can still see it on the right side. So when I'm saying it that I'm getting close of this board and the white line, I'm just going on the brake. Keep a margin. I would say maybe I keep 20 meters, 20 meters to make sure I can once again not compromise the exit of the left one, because then I can surely make the corner if I break at the white line. I will make the apex, but then I will just it's just going to be a disaster on the exit of this one, because I will just compromise quite a lot the exit of the chicane. So what I'm doing is that I'm braking at 120, 125, then just braking fully, carry straight, so it's not an issue to do that. When I will jump then I will jump to third, using a bit of curbing on the entry to really get the best angle possible. And then when I'm getting into the corner, I'm releasing the brake. I keep third for this one, trying to cut as much as I can on the inside. Of course, the more you can cut, the better it is, because then it really gives you the best angle possible to get the momentum for the exit of the chicane. But yeah, it's a risk to take the slow the off track or the slow down if you are on a quali lap or even in the race. If you get the off track during the race, it's okay, I would say. But if you get it during the quali, it's painful. So yeah, once again we third, trying to cut as much as I can, and when I'm really into the corner, going on power, trying to find the momentum. Quickly need to steer to the right to prepare the exit of the chicane. Just lifting a little bit before I'm getting into the right of the chicane, getting the curb on the inside, and then I will just try to bring the steering quickly back to the like bring back the steering straight early on if I can, because then I can really optimize the traction on the exit. As you can see, once I'm off the curb, trying to bring the steering straight, and then I can stay fully flat. Really important to straighten the steering as early as you can on the exit of this one, because then it can get very slippery and you can get sideways very easily. So yeah, and then for basically the last two corners or one corner, just bring the car to the right side, shorten the distance is the main target for me there, because yeah, you could go on the very left to bring you more momentum for the straight, but I always feel like I gain more time by shortening the distance and staying to the very right. So yeah, as you can see, I bring the car almost in the middle of the track, but then yeah, I'm not making the effort to really bring a car to the left. So yeah, I prefer to stay in the middle, shortening the distance, and then I gain some time, and then as you can see, cutting a bit the curbing before the start finish line, and we are done for the lap around Road Atlanta. Okay guys, we are done for this week lap guide. I hope you enjoyed this one and you learned from it, of course. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the Coach Dave Academy channel and join the Discord server if you have any questions about the work we are making, and I see you for the week 6. Bye bye.